Yo, what is going on, you guys? I hope my audio isn't too loud, but either way, today I'm gonna be talking about when you're getting started programming. I think most people watching this video are coming from Roblox, wanting to program in Roblox because that's the thumbnail that what I've been doing on this past month or something. And I've released 2 games already. Or actually 3, I released a couple games on Roblox already. But I also released a lot of games overall from Unity, and I've also been programming in several different languages. So what I want to be talking today is how to just get started and just so you don't do any these common mistakes people do. So I'm gonna start off immediately. So first of all, you have to pick a programming language or a game engine or anything like that. So when you're programming in Roblox, you're using Roblox Studio as your game engine and Lua as your programming language. But if you, for example, choose Unity, which I've also worked on, I think I've worked in Unity as much as I've done in Roblox. But in Unity, you use Unity as the game engine, and you use C# for programming language. This goes for Godot. I think I've tried Godot one time, and it uses Java, right? I didn't even look up this before. I think it uses Java as the programming language, and then Godot. Anyway, as the game engine. So this is pretty important, because if you start too hard or too difficult, I think you might end up just giving up pretty quick. So I started in Roblox for around maybe 1.5 years ago. So I started in Roblox Studio, and I think Lua is the easiest language in my opinion, but still the hardest one for some reason. Of course C++ is the hardest, we all can agree on that, right? But yeah, either way, Roblox and Roblox Studio and Lua and everything, it uses basically English to do everything. So as you can see on the screen now, this is an example of C# and Roblox Studio. So in Roblox you have if blah blah blah, then, and then end. And then you put a function in there, of course. But in, for example, C#, we have if, in parentheses, something, and then you have curly brackets. So I think it's easier to start off to just get the hang of what everything means when you're programming, when you start in Roblox. But that's completely my opinion, and my experience. Of course, it doesn't need to be that for you guys, but yeah, I think the most important when you're starting out to do not start too hard, or to pick a hard language as your first one, and also pick one where it's pretty much a lot of things out on YouTube on, so it isn't some random programming language that no one knows about, you know. Alright, going to number 2. So I think you've heard this a lot of times, but start small, alright? So I had this problem myself when I started. So I wanted to make this huge game with reality and everything, and I even I wanted to make that even in 2nd grade, alright? And I'm starting 9th grade now. So it has been freaking 7 years since I got this idea, and I still haven't made it. The game I'm working on right now, World Story, is a little bit of that. An example of this start small, because if I would have jumped on this game I'm working on right now when I just started programming, I would have just given up already. It would be too hard. So I'll show you guys an example, right? So when you first start out, you want to do something for example, I started off with making UIs, and this was I think that was the best part of starting in Roblox, Okay, now I'm going into Roblox again. So when I started out, I started with UIs. And I spent making UIs for like half a month or 1 to 2 weeks. Because that was basically the only thing I knew how to do. And I think that was actually a really good thing to do, for me at least. Because when I looked at the code, I realized how everything worked and how everything just went together. While if I just spent like 1 or 2 days on that and then jumped into like remote events immediately, I would have just like given up immediately, you know, because I wouldn't even be able to like know how I did everything. I don't know how to say this, but you know, yeah, just like that. So I had a person, I'm not gonna say who it is, you can comment down below because you're probably watching this if you want to, but he said he would give up on his game because it was too hard. And then he doesn't want to script anymore and stuff like that. I think that's what I meant. I don't have the exact like DM in my head, but that is an example of starting too big. Like, I'm gonna show on the screen right now. Alright guys, so I'm recording this a couple hours later now, so I actually talked over this, but I thought it was fun if I actually talked while I'm in the game. So basically what I'm saying is, when you start small like this, like look at this, we can start off by doing, okay, now I was on the wrong screen. Here, like this, nothing even scales with the screen, and like, as you see, all the buttons are completely like messed up, and stuff like that, you know. If you just do this, you know, you see everything just stretches. And that is like, this is, I think, wait, let me check. This was created month 4, April. Slapping Simulator was the first one I actually started with UIs. This was created 3/16, math testing 4/15. Almost exactly a month later. A month later I started programming, I released this game. It took me just a couple days to do this, and I've still updated it because all the saves in the game didn't, or the skips in the game didn't save and all of that shit, but yeah. Anyway, but here you can see this, we have different kind of levels. You see here 4, 14, that's 58, 58 minus 23, 5, 35, 35, 7, for example, like that. And then when you completed a whole one, I'm just gonna go here to the easier one instead. This is not the easy one. Okay, that's a big mistake, I think. Okay, here we go. Four times 4, for example, and here we have the last question, I think, yeah. And then you get 1 skip, and yeah, I have a billion skips, but yeah. And that is basically how the game works. So as you can see, it's a very low effort game, and the colors, like, don't use these bright colors or tips, and try and make the buttons round. I can make a completely separate video on just UIs. I'm not a professional at UI myself. You can see here, compared to the other things, I'm just gonna, okay, so everything, like, it matches with the screen, you know. It stretches, nothing looks weird. So basically that is that. But let's go on with this, as you can see here now. Alright, moving on to the last tip, or when I should say, number 3. So when you're first starting out, you're not going to make money. You're not going to make a lot of money. You can make a couple Robux here and there. I've made a total of, I think, maybe like 1.5k Robux in like 1 year. And that is basically all those Robux are from my game, the UI game, as I showed you, math testing. All those Robux are basically from there. So as you can see, I made 1.5k Robux just from that. From that little trash UI game I made in like 3 days. And I for some reason still have around 500 current players every week, or active visits. So it's pretty sick to make like small games and make Robux out of it. So basically, you're not gonna like think you're gonna, oh my god, I'm gonna start programming, I'm gonna make a lot of Robux, I'm gonna make millions, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna get $1,000 in my first month or anything. It could happen if you make a real good game, but that is probably not when you're starting out. So this UI game I was talking, now I'm coming back to that. The UI game I was talking about, I made that in like 3 days, and then I had like 100 visits in total for like 10 months, and then I started getting like a lot of like 500 weekly players. So you're not going to like pop off immediately, you know? It could happen, as I said, but it's not likely. So I think I don't need to say more than that. Just don't expect to make millions immediately. It doesn't even need to be that you ever make that, but just focus on making what you like. Don't make games because you want money. Then you will just make completely trash games. Okay, not completely trash games, but like low effort games to make money. Spend time, make something you like, and then earn out of it, you know? So I think that was everything I wanted to say today. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. In the description you have all my socials, you can join my Discord, you can follow me on Twitter, everything like that. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.